I got it. We live on mine.
Oh, we just went live already.
Yeah, cause you got to go.
Yeah.
BaldHead's podcast in association with what the fuck?
IOC.
IOC and the GDs.
All acronyms just
Yeah.
lead up to gang behavior.
Shit, that's what all that shit is now. To me, I don't know. Okay, now, how is this?
Yeah, get close.
It look like that camera slide.
It's to the side.
I don't give a fuck.
Just lean to the side.
Why is your screen dark?
No, that screen. What the? Don't we up there?
Oh, you fancy. Tia, how you doing right here? You backwards.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm
That
not
shit is
here.
on teeter totter.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell them. Go touch my Facebook and go
This shit is. Excuse us, we're having a little.
technical
We always have something
Setting up.
technical going on. We
production.
don't got no pre-production. That's what
right.
That's what happens when you go live.
We
You
do
go
a
live.
production.
You do live. You just go with it
Press
and,
live.
and live with it. Press live on your shit too.
Yeah, thank you.
It ain't gonna get
Make
nobody
sure
but
we get
me.
in.
That's because you got this motherfucker.
Turn the other way.
Negative. Well, your face ain't. You finna leave any motherfucker. I don't even know what you want. I just want somebody to see. All right, we got a very serious topic today, and we always try to touch something serious. First off, I'm gonna tell y'all this: suicide is not a joke. However the case may be, life is very serious, and someone taking their life is a very dramatic thing. So if you feel like you want to commit suicide, please call 1-800-273-8255.
Absolutely.
They have people you can talk to. Sometimes I think if you're having a problem, you just might want to get it off your chest. A lot of things that you feel you can control, you can't control. But taking your life is not going to help it at all. And today we have my good friend Charisma. She will be spearheading the conversation of all of this. We have Tioni Mary Kay,
Lean left.
a.k.a. T'Challa's sister, a.k.a. Black Panther sister, a.k.a. Lit Lori Lightfoot.
The lit one.
The lit
I'm on fire.
Because your hair is
I'm on fire.
Her hair is beautiful.
Yeah, well,
Thank you.
anyway. What you
All
gotta
right,
do?
so we're talking suicide today. Obviously, it's a serious topic, as BaldHead mentioned. Our youth are facing it. It's at astronomical proportions. People, it's the increase is on the rise between our youth, our African American youth, as well as our seniors. And so, you've probably seen in the news how police officers, firemen are killing themselves, and you've probably seen or know a young person, be it adult or young adult, or senior that's killed themselves. And of course there's always the issues of passive suicide, where the person is hit by a moving train because they had headphones on, or they're driving and their car got stuck on the track, the plane
They call it what?
crashed. Passive suicide, like you didn't intend but you intend, and so it happens. We don't always exactly know, but there are some indicators to us when a person may have committed suicide. And the other thing I want to stress today is sometimes people tell you that they're tired, that they're giving up, they're overwhelmed, and we want to figure out how to pay attention to those things today. So one of the things I was thinking about,
You know that's in the camera right there, right?
is that a person doesn't have to have a history of mental illness to feel suicidal. You just have to feel that the things that you've tried are not working, and you have to feel like there's no other option. And so, does anyone know anyone who's committed suicide?
Yeah, when I was 15, this guy at my school committed suicide. Matter of fact, he didn't go to school with me. He used to just come up there all the time. And he told me and a couple of my friends that we used to be together, he's like, man, I'm sick of this, man. I don't even want to be here no more. And so I said, well, leave then. But I'm thinking he talking about he didn't want to be right there. And like 2 days later, they found his body. He hung himself, and that was kind of weird how he hung himself. It was like he just put a rope around, I don't even think it was a rope, like a telephone cord around his neck,
Sure.
and leaned forward.
Oh. Okay.
And I'm like, you gotta have some type of strength, because I mean, if you gotta be serious about it, because I think some people, they say they finna jump and all this, that, and other. When they actually do it, they be like, wait a minute, I want to go back. But this motherfucker, this shit is, it tripped me out as a kid, because I was like, what was that bad that he wanted to kill himself? And came to find out his girlfriend had quit him.
Oh yeah, that's a big
His
one.
Girlfriend broke up.
His girlfriend broke up with him, and then he went and got he wrote a letter and all that shit talking about he couldn't take it no more. He didn't want to be without her. Or he didn't want to be here when he wasn't with her. And I didn't know at that time that he was reaching out for help from us.
Absolutely.
Because I'm thinking he said he didn't want to be in it. And my whole thing was, if you don't want to be somewhere, leave. But
it's not exactly that simple. How many of you remember Don Cornelius?
yeah.
Committed suicide. Absolutely. He has money. He has friends.
He committed suicide?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's how he did.
He had a diagnosis of dementia, and he didn't want to live losing his memory, and so he saw death as an option. What about Robin Williams? Anyone know Robin Williams?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Delphine.
That hurt me because that was one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah, years of depression. His family knew it. In the house with his ex-wife and his children, and he struggled and he talked about it. He did it. There's also a few young people. There's a gentleman that Jay-Z had befriended who had been to jail, was wrongfully convicted, abused, beaten, all of that. And so he kept talking about, you know, that he felt like killing himself. He had an attorney, he had a family, a mother, some sisters and brothers, but he became overwhelmed with the trauma that he experienced in prison. And he killed himself. So people sometimes give us clues that they're contemplating suicide. What do you think some of those things are?
And just knowing I have a aunt that committed suicide, and a friend that lived with us when my son was younger. He attempted to commit suicide, and my son actually found him. So a lot of times the suicide attempt doesn't just affect the person who tried to commit suicide.
Of course.
Especially if you found that person and you had to save their life. But
Absolutely.
You sit in the middle real quick while you talking.
But and then I also had a close family member recently who felt suicidal and ingested some to try to commit suicide. So I find that in being that close to them, that a lot of times they become withdrawn. So if you notice somebody that's starting to become withdrawn and want to be out to themselves and not wanting to participate in different gatherings and stuff like that, and not enjoying the things that you usually see them enjoy. So if you know they are usually a high-spirited person, they like singing, they like dancing, they like rapping, like doing certain things, and they're not doing the things they like doing or the sports that they used to enjoy doing, that things that made them happy, then a lot of times like you can kind of tell, and then their appetite changes too. They don't want to eat as much as they ate before, especially if it's somebody that's used to seeing eat a lot. Or it could be reverse, if it's somebody that you're seeing that's not eating that much, and they go from not eating that much to eating a lot because they're nervous eating, they're eating because of whatever is going on inside of them. Another thing that you'll notice is just the friendships that they had. Their friendships started suffering. So that's another thing that is kind of a telltale sign. And a lot of times we're so busy with life and what's going on with us. We don't take the time to kind of start paying attention to our loved ones.
Absolutely. Because
we're used to coming, everything's okay, everything's okay. A lot of times it's that day that you think that everything is going good, and it's one little thing, something as simple as getting into an argument with a close friend, or a close friend stops talking to them, especially when it comes to the children. A close friend stops talking to them, or a close friend doesn't want to befriend them anymore, and they don't know why that close friend doesn't want to befriend them. A lot of times it causes a lot of mental anguish with that child, and they're like really stressed and on edge about the situation because they don't know why, because the friend didn't tell them but a lot of times they don't give it the opportunity to kind of take its course in order for them to come to that point where they can talk about it.
So what I hear you saying is a reoccurring theme of loss. Loss of a companion, loss of friendships, loss of jobs,
Mm-hmm.
loss of resources. Sometimes you don't know how the person is feeling about the loss. If you got bills and you lose your job and you have a wife or you have a girlfriend, you have some kids, you have a car note, and your coping skills aren't as efficient as you need them to be, you start feeling overwhelmed if you don't have family support to get, money from to help you through the type. Or if you've lost a relationship, you found out that your partner was stepping out on you, or the infamous break up, no phone call back, you know who you are. No, but if you have a loss of a relationship and you don't feel worthy to have another relationship, that someone else is going to love you even better than that person love you, sometimes a person feels hopeless. So losses can create feelings of hopelessness.
Yeah.
And also there's some other signs that you can see, like what you talked about with the food. There could be more drug use. So let's say the person is drinking, they may drink more. Let's say they're getting high off pills or some other kind of drug. They're smoking weed every day, but now they instead of just every day.
Mm-hmm.
You might see, besides the withdrawal, like missing work, missing from family functions, like you talked about, going different places. They show you passively little indicators that something's changing. And one that's common is that the person will call you to say goodbye. I lost a stepbrother many years ago, and he called my family members, my aunt, and some cousins, and said goodbye to them before he turned the gun on himself and his companion, and some others. And so that's just an example.
Wait a minute, you say he turned on his companion
Mm-hmm.
and some other
He
men?
killed his girlfriend and some kids and himself. Yeah. And there have been other cases of suicide. You hear about it, but so there's some signs, right? The person calls you, says goodbye. Sometimes they write a letter, sometimes they don't write a letter, sometimes they text you, sometimes they post on Facebook.
Y'all seen it?
They could just, if a person tells you, I feel like giving up, this is it, man, I don't know what to do. You laughing at them or you listening? Do you take a moment to say, hey, homie? Is it beyond your skill set? Like if somebody called me back when I was 20 and said that they were going to kill themselves, I don't know what my response might be.
If somebody, like the guy that I was talking about, people directly said he was going to kill himself, I'd have been like, man, come on, wait, man, what are you talking about? I'd try to talk to him, but I didn't take that as that. I didn't think that's what he was saying. He just walked up to us and was like, man, I'm tired of being here. And, we was at school, so I thought he was talking about school. Mm-hmm. But it's a crazy situation when you don't really know. And the signs can be, like you say, so many things, but the basic thing is people need to start paying attention more and really, check on people. Some people got friends that are strong.
Yep.
And the strong people never get checked on.
And that's what I was going to
They
say.
never be like, man, you good? What's happening with you, all right?
The people you perceive as the strongest people, sometimes when they have a storm, as people call it, a storm in their life, or situations in their life, it's like one on top of the other. It becomes a big snowball for them. So they might have been used to putting those little fires out and dealing with those small things that came along, and they grown to know how to take care of those things. But then once it gets so big and it seems so overwhelming, and they don't have the like it goes right back to what you said, the resources, having those resources.
Yes.
And another thing I wanted to touch on, not only do we have, especially for young people or for those people who just feel like they don't want to talk, they're going to do too much crying talking about the situation, and they're not going to be able to get it out, or it's just too painful for you to talk about it.
Absolutely.
They also have a suicide text line. So you can call the suicide hotline initially, and if that's something that you feel that you can't do and it's not going to be able to help you because you don't want to talk about it, it's too hard to talk about the situation, they can give you a text line that you can text back and forth with a person to help you out. Absolutely. And help you deal with the situation. Because recently in the news there was a guy who went to get mental help, and he was turned away from getting mental help and told them that he was that he needed those mental health services. He was turned away, and not even 48 hours after that, he ended up killing some people.
So let me say a word about calling or texting. Your first response for incidents of suicide, be if the person is on your phone or what have you, is 911. That's your first and fastest intervention. However, the second thing I'm going to say, if you have a friend that's on your line and they're texting you, keep that person on the line and have someone else nearby you call 911, get their location so that help can come. You may or may not want to go over there personally, because sometimes there's a risk of a person's homicidal. They might be suicidal and homicidal. You might want to take the gun from them, and they might not be wanting you to take the gun from them. So we want to keep those things in mind. So your first line of defense is going to be 911, and then also keeping the person on the phone while you send help. The other thing is, we talked about this number.
Yes, 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255.
It's national prevention.
Yep. The other thing I wanted to add is that more men kill themselves than women. Men are usually, they use more means that are successful, right? So sometimes if a male wants to kill themselves, they may use a weapon, like a gun. Sometimes females use more passive means, like ingesting pills, things like that. So the person, if they're committed to doing something, they'll find a way to do it. But so we don't want to ignore the men because we see them as strong, or they're just talking, they'll be all right. But believe him, if he tells you that he's feeling some type of way, do the best that you can with what you know.
And don't go on. This is how I used to think before a lot of things came to my attention. If you got a man that is telling you his friend or whatever, another man, he's telling you feel like killing himself or he feeling like giving up, don't use the word weak. Don't say that you're weak.
Yep.
That is it could trigger a situation to make a motherfucker think, yeah, I am weak, and I don't need to be my weak ass here.
Yeah.
You gotta very seriously pay attention to people. I say this every now and then when you get up, your friends, people that you deal with, family, text them a simple text. You alright? You cool? You good? Just checking on you.
Or I love
and
you.
then
Sometimes people just need that.
Just checking on you, love you, and that will trigger them to ask you that and let you know how they are. It's all about a basis of communication to people. You might know somebody that is going through a divorce. They're going through losing their job. They're going through having kids and they take care of kids.
Health problems.
Yeah, all of that. You gotta check on them people and don't take it as I'm cool, I'm strong, I'm alright. Hey, come to them in a nice way. I'm here for you. Whatever you need to talk about. If you just want to talk and you want me to listen, because some people want you just to listen to them.
Yep.
You ain't gotta put your 2 cents in, or you need to do this. No, just listen and let them know. Okay, I heard everything you said. What do you want me to do?
Yes.
What do you want me to do? Sometimes they may be like, well, you did it already. You just listened to me. I'm glad I was able to talk to you. And hey, man, well, all right, well, let's go get some coffee.
And I got a friend
let's
right
go get
now.
a drink, or let's go get some bitches.
I got a friend right now that I check on because I want to say within the last 6 months he's lost at least 4 family members, and every time I call him, he's in a bar, and that worries me because, just like you said, some people take the passive way of dealing with their issues, or they keep doing something they don't usually do. They might have drank, when they got off work, and I see the person not looking for work, and the person drinking, and then every time I talk to him, he's at a bar, and I talked to him recently, and he was at a bar and he was drunk, and I'm like, take an Uber home. Let me know once you make it there. But I make a commitment to myself to check on that person because I care about that person. Absolutely. And I know that person has been going through, and they've had a really rough year. So you lose siblings and lose their grandparents and stuff like that. So it's not that easy for them to deal with that. So especially when you see that person steady losing family members and they posting it on Facebook, check them.
Let's go to some of the people on my YouTube. Big Knock, Chi-Town, suicide is a very serious matter. Fact, mental illness is out here strong. Funny thing is, you never know who's really in pain.
Yep.
Tiger T, greetings, King. What's happening, lady? Trayvon Zimmerman, my boy, what's happening? Thumbs up for suicide prevention. And Tiger says, greetings, King, again. It must type twice. One thing I think that you could start doing is, if you're going through something yourself, say this is the person that's trying to prevent somebody or find out. You ever notice when you tell somebody your problems, they'll tell you their problems?
Mm-hmm. Worst thing they could do.
What's the worst that they tell you?
Well, if you telling them your problem and they jump in, oh, you think that's bad? Let me tell you what happened to me.
The reason
that's not listening.
But wait a minute, no, I'm not saying when you listen to somebody, you know they got a situation. If you think you got somebody that's going through a lot of shit, instead of busting out saying, man, you feel like killing yourself? Tell them what you got going on. And then they might offer.
They might open up.
They might open up. Because shit, he going through some shit. Let me tell him about this. You know, and then y'all just be the other person's backbone.
Yes.
Being the other person's backbone. You can go to all the doctors in the world and take all them damn drugs and shit. Them drugs might not work. But communication with somebody could be a tool to make everything a lot better.
Yeah, and therapy, and there's different forms of therapy. There's not just talking. There's art therapy. There's music therapy. There's different things that you can do that are therapeutic, like knitting or sewing, or just like you said, playing video games. There's different types of therapy you can have, because a lot of times when you do something that you have to focus on, it kind of gives you the opportunity to zone out. The best way I could put it.
You want to break the cycle. You want to interrupt the thought process.
So what you're doing is giving yourself a time to not be thinking about those situations and not be thinking about those problems, so that you can be able to actually be free of that for a minute. Sometimes people use drugs, but a lot of times you don't have to use drugs. There are different types of therapy and different things that you can do that require your full focus. Whenever you're playing an instrument, it requires your full focus. When you're playing, like you said, a video game, it requires your full focus if you want to win. And most people want to win because they're competitive by nature.
And a lot of video games have problem-solving situations. And you can apply some of that to life. And I know a lot of people might be like, man, if you feel like something is bothering you, you can get on the video. And I'm telling y'all, because I suffer from depression. When I came out on Facebook one day, I just woke up one day and I was like, yeah, my name BaldHead and I suffer from depression. I did not realize how many comments I had got. So many people reached out to me. One of my comedian buddies reached out to me and was telling me that I didn't know, and he didn't know, and we sit together every now and then, and we just talk. We spill everything out, and every now and then we check on each other. But I don't have the mentality or the capacity to want to kill myself, because I do know how that will hurt some people. You know what I'm saying? I got a 9-year-old daughter. For somebody to tell my daughter that her daddy's gone. And then the fact that I took myself out, that would traumatize her forever. So I had a problem at one point in time, like, man, I literally used to hear myself saying, man, I'll kill this motherfucker. And that's a whole other thing that I had to try to suppress. So what I would do is, the problems of everyday life, and y'all think it's bullshit, I would get on the video game and kill everybody on the video game. That way, I'm not going to jail. I'm not hurting myself, and I could, suppress the situation, the anger, or whatever. And there's certain shit on there that I would have to solve and have to get through at different levels. And it might sound crazy to you people who are not looking at it that way, but think about how crazy it would sound if somebody told y'all that, man, he killed everybody. Why? He was a comedian. Comedians like Robin Williams.
Yeah.
You never would have expected the dude who used to play Morganor or who played Miss Doubtfire or anything would have done that to himself. You never know. It's like Smokey Robinson had a song called Tears of a Clown. Yeah. Tears of a Clown. That's some real shit. I will do everything in the world to make y'all laugh, but I could be fucked up. So
Yeah,
pay
because you
attention.
have done some shows right after someone very close to you has passed away or was murdered. A lot of times you've had to push through that and actually still do your craft and deliver what you do for the people.
Remember, I had to come from my brother's funeral.
Yeah,
I
and
had
doing a show.
my older brother was a comedian. He had some kidney cancer, some kidney situations. His blood, but anyway, to make a long story short, my brother was like my hero. He passed. It was hard for me to get to his funeral. And shout out to Tia. Tia was like, "Come on, we're gonna go down there. We're gonna go to the funeral." We went to the funeral, did everything. I spoke at the funeral, you know, and I had to come back to Chicago and do a show that night.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Man, how the hell is you?" I gotta keep pushing. My sister was killed. One of my I got two twin sisters. One of my younger sisters were killed, and at the time she did it, that it happened. Tornado was alive, and Tornado got out of the hospital, and came to her funeral and said, "Man, I know you needed me," so I came, and that made me feel a little better. But I had to go to do a show the night of my sister's murder. I was actually coming from one, and it was like, if I don't keep going,
Yep.
I'm gonna do something, or something's gonna happen. So it's like you gotta. It's kind of hard to tell another person to be like I was, because being like I am is not easy. But every
also when we went to Detroit,
Yeah.
one of the legendary comedians from Detroit passed away while we were in Detroit. Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
So during the time that we were there, that's when they took him off of life support, and so all the comedians got together to support one another, because in Detroit he was one of the comedians that gave a lot of comedians a chance to get where they are now. He was like their starting point, their person that gave them that opportunity to get out there and work their craft. So just like you find out he passed away, and then you do a show, and then you guys all meet up together to kind of console one another.
Yeah, we had a memorial show for him. The crazy part is, I tried to get up there to see him, but I was too late because he was like really past. He was in hospice. We were doing a podcast, and on my podcast we got the information while we were doing the information that he had made his transition, and it was crazy. It was like the podcast was going on and then everything was, but we had to push past and even still finish the podcast.
So I like that, what you talked about. Pushing past the pain. Like, you could have chose to be overwhelmed, right? Just could have been overwhelmed, like you lost your sister, you got to show too much pressure, and you chose action. You chose movement to stop the cycle of feeling bad about yourself, the situation, and doing something physical to keep you going.
And then also, the other thing that he did, which is phenomenal, is starting the Comedy Over the Comedy Over Depression organization and movement. So that's what sparked him to do that, because of losing so many people and knowing what it's like to be in that moment of being depressed and trying to figure out how to push past the pain and how to still do what he does, and also learning that laughter helps cure depression if you're able to laugh. So by him being a comedian, and that's what he helps people to do, then that's when we started having the hashtag and having the weekly shows of Comedy Over Depression.
I want to say the title caught my eye. I follow a lot of comics on Instagram and other medias because I like to laugh, and I totally agree that comedy helps to bring you out that mood. You know, you could be in a lot of pain and someone makes you smile. But I wanted to just say something about, again, what BaldHead has said about when you're doing something. Know that when you're suffering from depression, sometimes it can be so bad that people of color, you can have psychosis with it. And that's like where you hear little noises in your head telling you that, you know, you're not beautiful, your hair not fly, you're not funny, you're not a real social worker, ain't nobody listening to you. They just can go any way to make you feel worse, to keep you down. And then you sort of feel physically, right? Because depression hurts. It hurts physically, hurts mentally in your mind.
Emotional.
It sort of capsulizes you, so you feel, smaller than you really are. And then, physically, right? Now you can't get out of bed. You don't want to go to the party. You don't want to eat. You don't want to drink. You don't want to do many things. Kendrick Lamar suffers from depression. Abraham Lincoln suffered from depression. Many great people suffer from depression. So it's not like it's a dirty word. It's a reality. And if you live long enough, 2 out of 3 people are going to suffer from depression.
And ain't shit wrong with you at all. I came out and said it. Your shit went low. Your camera went low.
Yeah.
I came out and I said it, and I felt a lot better about it, but at the same time, it didn't stop. It just pushed. I just had to keep pushing. Keep pushing. Are you going?
Yeah.
Good, I can get my seat back. My ass was hurting. Shit, my ass was hurting. That's a picture. What the fuck? You just taking a picture?
Yeah, we had to capture that moment.
But yeah, it's a lot of shit that you gotta understand. It's a lot of stuff you gotta understand when it comes to depression, and it's a lot of ways that you can deal with it. It's not impossible. It might feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you go talk to your pastor. If you don't trust talking to your pastor,
Awesome.
go talk to somebody else, pastor. You can talk to a bartender. You can talk to a barber.
Yeah.
As long as he's not naked. Don't talk to a naked barber. You can also talk to, hell, get in an Uber and make sure your ride is a nice distance, 20, 30 minutes, and be like, hey man, you know what, I need to just tell you something, man. And then just talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you want people to listen, sometimes you want answers, sometimes you want it. It's a lot of groups and a lot of things. And you might be the person that's not sociable. Hey, let me tell you something. Get in the mirror and talk to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do something. Just don't sit there and let the shit take you over.
So you made me think of a couple of things. I like when you said go to church, go talk to a pastor. I used to get in a car and drive. I end up in some strange places, but just to clear my mind, I might just get in the car and drive until I feel better and come back to myself. But I was thinking about maybe if people had a safety plan to help them when they feel depressed, they feel overwhelmed, like you kind of contemplating, because before people actually commit suicide, they think about it, right?
Right.
It's not really that spontaneous, although it is that spontaneous. So they think about it. So I want to say, if you own a weapon, a gun of any sort, and you know that you're depressed, and you feeling a little bit thinking about suicide or thinking about it's really bad, get rid of the gun. Let your buddy hold it. Give it to a friend. You got the gun, get rid of the bullets. You got the bullets, get rid of the gun.
Right. Also, think about the people in your family that it affects. You might be sitting up and saying, man, they don't care about me. But it's somebody that cares about you that it will traumatize them. Sometimes you got to go to a point of not thinking about yourself. Think about who it will hurt. My boy Trayvon says, I think that so much crazy stuff happening in black neighborhoods. We get desensitized.
Yep.
He's right.
Absolutely.
We then end up ignoring actual clinical mental health issues that we see. Prime example of something that went on now, it was a little girl that got shot that was 7 years old. 7 years old, she was out trick-or-treating, got shot. I set up the other day, and when I heard it, I was like, here we go again. What you doing?
Somebody asked to be on camera, and I don't know.
Hey, hit that.
There's a lot of people.
You can't put them all on at the same time. Crazy
okay.
woman.
I don't know. You teaching.
They gonna come live. They gonna be right there. You thought
They might have a question.
Yeah, they could have still asked the question.
Okay,
It's adding them, and when their face gonna pop up, watch. You gonna be like, oh, I didn't know that was what I was doing. She just over here pushing buttons and shit.
I know. I was trying not to ignore the viewers because I saw you responding. So
But they didn't ask to be on live.
Oh.
It does that automatically. You supposed to just hit this button
Oh, wave.
and wave at them.
Oh, that's what's up. See, I'm learning. But you were saying before I messed it up.
But I heard about the girl getting shot.
Absolutely.
And I was like, this is bullshit. And I was like, that's fucked up, but I kept going.
Right.
Like it wasn't nothing. Because you hear about so many young ladies getting shot and shit, stray bullets hitting the wrong people. And I thought about, I'm like, wait a minute, damn, I got a 9-year-old.
Right.
I will be told to fuck up. I need to really pay this situation attention. And I did.
I want to say something more about passive suicide. So let's just say that you on the block 65th and Western, and you heard it's a war going on, and you heard them say that they're going to kill all the people that live east of 65th and Western. It's in your plan that you shouldn't go to that area because they've already said, if you do this, we're going to do that.
Right.
So one way that people sometimes passively commit suicide is to put themselves in a position where they'll be harmed. Kind of like you fight somebody who has a gun. You know what I'm saying? So we have to just think about if it's feeling some kind of way, step back. It's never as bad as it seems. If it feels hopeless, it's not hopeless. It's really not hopeless. If you're thinking not having a car, not having some money, not having some weed, not having a woman in my life is bad, tell the person who have cancer. If you have cancer and you think, oh, this is so bad, talk to the person who's paralyzed and blind. If you think that you're paralyzed and blind and that's so bad, talk to the person who's dead.
Talk to the person that's dead.
Yes,
What they want to say?
It's not that bad.
Whatever you think is messed up, all you gotta do is go by the block.
Yep.
Walk by the block, you're gonna see something way more fucked up than you. Think about that person that can't go home. You about to lose your home, but you got when you wake up every day, you got another way to fight to try to keep your house, keep yourself in order. You know, and I when people commit suicide or suicide, homicide, suicide murder because of a relationship, I look at it automatically as it's a lot of other women out there, it's a lot of other men out there.
Not quite like the one you lost, but
yeah, but the one you lost, sometimes you the reason that you lost it. So what you might need to do, look into yourself and fix yourself. Tell that motherfucker, hey, I done fucked up. Give me a chance to get myself together and come back at you the right way.
So I was thinking about some of the other places a person might could get some help. If you have a job, most jobs have ERA where you can go and talk to someone. If you have insurance, you can use your behavioral health number on the back of your insurance card and get some counseling. You can also go to your local hospital, right? You go to Providence if you're living in Chicago or Cook County and walk in. No line, no waiting. Let them know what your issues are. They'll get you in touch with the clinic. You can call your local primary care doctor and let them know. If you don't have a doctor, you can call 911. If you have a friend that you trust who will take your call when you call, do a pact with that friend and say, hey, you know what, man or lady, check this out. I've been thinking, like, stuff is really bad, right? And I be feeling like I want to give up, right? But ask that person, can I call you in an emergency? That means that if I text you, you text me back. If I call you and you with the baddest chick or you with the baddest bro, that you take my call. Make a pact with someone for 6 months, 3 months, until you come up out that jam. And also, if you're the person on the receiving end of that phone call and the person calls you and tells you that they're suicidal, what you want to do is get that person to commit to you not to do it. So if I call you BaldHead and I'm telling you this is it, my computer is broken, I can't do a podcast, and I can't go on. If my pact with you is if I call you, if I text you, if I call you, that you take my call. Now I ain't gonna call you and say what you're doing if it's emergency.
No.
So be that guy, be that girl.
Call me and say, hey, you come use my computer, get your ass out here.
You see
Bring
what I'm
me
saying?
my shit back and don't go through my web history. Look at me a little different.
So we have an 800 number that we're recommending.
National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. If you feel like you know somebody, please call them. All you got to do is confidential.
Yep.
They're going to talk straight to you.
Yep.
They're going to listen. And they're going to come up with some solutions for you.
The other thing I like about this organization is if you call them, they'll send you some stuff in the mail. They have this little form where you can fill it out and you can like put like a little checklist, some little helpful information. to help you help someone or to help you help yourself. I recommend to everyone listening, if you've ever had a down moment, what's your plan to help yourself if you're getting it tight? Because we don't really know we're going to feel that way, right? And when you're feeling that way, you're not thinking clearly. So what's your plan if you get in trouble? Who can you call? Who can you trust to tell your secret to tell the matters of your heart, and they won't laugh at you? That's what I challenge you to figure out today. Who's your go-to person who will help you if you get low or you get in the gym?
Yeah, you gotta have somebody, and let that person know how serious the situation is when you do call them. Let them know this is not a joke. I'm serious. I'm not feeling well. You know, it's a lot of shit going on. And if that person, you'll find out, because that person will sit back and talk to you or come where you at. Come on, I mean, let's go. Come on, let's go get a drink. Let's go get some coffee. Let's just go walk and talk. You know, we're gonna figure this out together. Me, myself, I use comedy and trying to get better with situations with dealing with my career as my friend, I guess you'll say. A couple friends that I knew, I talked to them about it. But it was kind of different for me because I wasn't talking about committing suicide. I just was sick of everybody dying.
Yep.
You know, it's like, for what? I literally, after my brother, I literally lost, that 1 week, no, just that 1 week, I lost a person every day.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I literally lost somebody. Not somebody I knew about, somebody that was a friend. Somebody whose number was in my phone. And I never see him again. And I was like, at one part I took it as, these motherfuckers is killing my friends on purpose.
Yeah.
What about the other people's friends? You know what I'm saying? But I had it just was so crazy, man.
So you made me think about something. For those of us who lose people that we love to violence, you are at risk of feeling suicidal because the loss of that person, that significant person that you love, can cause you to feel hopeless. And when you feel hopeless, even though they're gone, you seem to feel like life ain't worth living because this person is left. And if you lost multiple people, which I have, you have, other people you know have, sometimes it all piles up on your shoulders where you start thinking, my homie gone, my mama gone, my daddy gone, all these people are gone. And so what do I have to live for? You have everything to live for because you love you, right? And you're important to other people in addition to the people that you lost. I've lost a son, I lost an uncle, I lost a cousin, I lost friends, I lost parent. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know it's kind of different too? Like, you lose somebody to violence, opposed to losing them to an illness or a car accident or something. Somebody, see, my thing when I lost somebody to violence, my thing was I wanted revenge. I wanted to eventually get that person back or do something to them. Then you got to think, somebody else gonna want revenge.
Yeah.
When somebody died, like my brother passed, or a couple of other friends of mine, my friend that just passed last night, my friend Glenn, you look at it like, damn. I look at it like this, damn, at least didn't nobody take him out. You know, didn't nobody take him out. It was a situation of health. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I don't know why it's still. That damn iPhone ain't shit. What we looking like on the time side? Is this
We can prepare to wrap up.
Okay.
So we can recap. What you got?
Once again, be the one to ask. We can tip out the website. Be the one to ask. Be the one to.com. That's BETHE number 1. Yeah. And also, if you ask somebody, are you thinking of killing yourself? Tell them to go to the National Prevention Lifeline. We go 1-800-273-8255.
So we know that the 10th leading cause of death in the United States is suicide, and we know also that in 2017 over 20,000 people died of suicide, self-inflicted injury, right? And so I'm going to leave you with some risk for suicide. If you lost someone, overuse of substance, right? You drinking, smoking, drugging, job loss, poor coping skills or inefficient coping skills, right? So when adverse times come, it sort of overwhelms you. You tend to worry a lot, overthink things, or you're just chilling, but life done came at you so hard. My suggestion is, in an emergency, is 911, but if not, use any of your local resources to get in counseling. and you can do so privately by contacting your doctor, your nurse, your jobs, your insurance. If you don't have insurance, your local clinic, the 311 number, the 911 number. And then also we talked about, we gave you that 800 number.
1-800-273-8255.
And lastly is make an emergency plan. Everybody needs this plan. What do you do if you get overwhelmed and you feel like giving up? Who's your go-to person? Find out, determine who it is. You can have more than one. Get that person to commit to you. Dog, if I ever need you, sis, if I ever need you, can I call you? And that person has to commit to you that they would respond to you. Please don't pick someone who you know they shady. They don't answer the phone. They don't text back. That ain't the person.
Or somebody who run their goddamn mouth.
Ooh, thank you. We didn't say it. Talk to someone who ain't gonna tell your business.
Yes. And make sure on the other side, check on your people.
Yep.
Check on your people as much as you got to check on them. You know somebody going through something. Don't take it as a slight matter. Don't take it, oh, he's strong, he can deal with that. Check on him.
Yep.
Let somebody know you there no matter what. People tend to do better in a suicide situation when they feel, well, at least I do got him. At least I do got her. I can talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
They checking them.
There's an app called Savello. You can get that app on your phone. It's free. It's like having a therapist in your pocket. It's an app. You can use it to listen to calming music. You can use it to put in your feelings. It also encourages you to be grateful. I challenge everyone to find something to be thankful about every day. Find something to be grateful about every day. You can't be grateful and thankful and depressed at the same time, right? So elevate your mood, elevate your spirit. You cannot be thankful, grateful, and hopeless at the same time. So the app Calm and or Savello, they're free. They'll help you. And use of any of the 800 numbers that we talked about, the website that we talked about, 911 and a friend.
Website, BeTheOne2.com. It's really be the one to ask. BeTheOne2.com. Go there. And also National Suicide Prevention Hotline, 1-800-273-8255.
Get rid of the gun.
Did somebody tell you, like a newscaster or something, tell you to always smile? You be smiling like
all the time.
Motherfucker do the weather and shit. I can't do all that motherfucker smile all the time. I mean, I ain't sad about it.
That's my trademark. It's my trademark.
Well, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank y'all for listening to BaldHead's podcast.
Woo-hoo!
And also
the IOC, baby.
We merged it together today so that we could come to you about this serious topic. I love you. We love you. Stay strong.
Absolutely.
Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Every day you wake up is your chance to fight and to keep on pushing.
Absolutely.
Comedy over depression. Y'all can check me out. Also, tomorrow I got a show. It's going to be my last show in Chicago. I will be with Ed Lover, my girl Dawn B, and my girl Kelly Howard at the Chicago Winery on Randolph. You can go to my page, Comedian BaldHead Phillips, to hit the link for the tickets. Tickets $20 in advance, $25 at the door. It's a brunch, so it starts at 11. A brunch. They're going to have breakfast food and lunch food at the winery. So you know it's going to be some liquor there. Be liquor there, good people there. We sitting back, we mingling. Yep, I'm out of here. Mahalo at y'all. What you going to say, sir?
I was going to say, you can follow me on Love and Raymond Bands on Instagram. Next podcast.
Say that again. You said that shit all fast.
You can follow me on Love and Raymond Bands on Instagram. You can follow me on YouTube at the IOC. And also, if you want to follow the case for Raymond, you can check us out at Justice for Raymond, W. Pryor. Good night. That wasn't so bad. I hope we didn't do more than an hour. What you think? Oh, I think we did an hour.
That's cool.
I don't know. We could always add it.
No, that's cool.
This was cool.